Interviews with business owners and veteran executives who share their wisdom and expertise to help you de-stress, free up time, and make more money. Profits of IT. Welcome back to the Profits of IT. I am Jim Punzenberger, your host and the founder and creator of the Managed Prospecting System. If you're looking to generate leads or appointments without cold calling or ad spend, check out managedprospectingsystem.com. Today I have Alejandro with me. Alejandro, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company, please?
Sure. So thank you for having me. First of all, I'm excited to be here. So yeah, my name is Alejandro Laplana. I've been an entrepreneur for the past 10 years, I would say. Shockworks is about 5 years old officially, 7 years old unofficially. We started off as a services company, then eventually pivoted into more of an ad tech company that then used those profits to become a venture builder, a company builder, so to speak. So we're at a point where we grew from about 20 employees to about 500 plus and 40 portfolio companies. We also have a venture capital fund and a hedge fund, but that's a bit unrelated to the core company.
Cool. So what's something interesting about yourself outside of work?
Quite a few things actually. I don't know. I'm scared of rodents in particular.
Okay.
Yeah, I've lived in over 16 cities.
Wow.
At 31 years. I don't know. What else? I can speak 5 languages. I have all kinds of weird hobbies, but
That's a bunch of interesting things. So anyways, what would you say is your superpower when it comes to business, and how can others learn from that and apply that in their own businesses and their own lives, etc.?
yeah, I don't know if I have a superpower per se. Maybe it's just delusions of grandeur, but no, I like to think I have clear ideas on the future, and I'm also able to assemble the teams that can execute on that vision. It's been good so far. Hopefully, it doesn't fail me when it counts. Medium to long term. So that's what I would say.
And so how would one that's maybe struggling in this area improve on that?
I mean, in terms of ideating on the future, it's tough. I don't know. I really have no advice there. In terms of execution, I think I think ideas are overrated. I think execution is extremely underrated. So, and if you can actually do one thing and do it well and learn how to build teams around it once it makes sense to, then I think if you're able to assemble a good group, then yeah, I think execution is 90% of it.
So really it comes down to execution is the most important thing. And so do you have any tips on how to execute?
Yeah, for sure. Focus on one thing in particular. And then as organically, as you grow, you'll have the bandwidth to really take on other areas and just try not to get distracted in the process. Make sure it's all synergistic.
Okay, what else is important?
Pardon?
What else is important when executing?
Well, I would say that, keeping almost razor sharp focus on one thing and doing it better than most people.
Razor sharp focus and doing it better than most people.
Yeah.
Got it. And when executing, do you have other tips as far as what one can do to execute better?
Yeah. So let me see if I understand your question. Are you talking more like, because one thing would be a general tip. Another thing would be, like a more tactical approach. So, I think, be very, again, I can't stress enough being focused on a specific problem and understanding that pain point. So being very deliberate and intentional as far as what you're addressing, really testing and iterating on your solution and making sure you know how to build a team.
Okay.
Sure, what's required in order to address that problem, and have the ability to start executing and bootstrapping at a small scale, and then as you've found some kind of traction and eventually scale, then go ahead and raise capital.
Got it. So that's really interesting, and in the progression of it. So really, essentially, it comes down to focusing on one thing at first, and then making it, perfecting it, and then starting to scale it. Uh, that's really the
Yeah, you
process
could
that you.
say, yeah, you could say, Amazon are probably one of the most fierce companies when it comes to just execution in general. And it started off as an online bookstore that quickly pivoted into the standard of e-commerce, and then kind of created the fractional cloud, and in many ways disrupted two industries in less
Uh-huh.
than 2 decades.
Right. Got it. So do you have any other tips for entrepreneurs?
Not really. No, no, not. Maybe if we got a little more specific on the latter portions of the interview.
Okay. So, and you mentioned tactical execution of things. When you're referencing that, can you go a little bit deeper into um, when uh, executing tactically?
Yeah, it depends on what you mean by tactically. So when we go into the tactical components, it's little tweaks here and there, right? Whether it be hiring, whether it be product testing, whether it be getting things done. I think it's lean teams are usually best when you're starting out. Whatever you can verticalize. And yeah, just be obsessed with quality.
Okay.
And more output than input driven. That would be some tactical tips I would give.
So when being more output driven, so really that means focusing on the results of for whatever it is that you're doing. Is that
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
and
Absolutely.
is there key things to focus on there in when it comes to outputs?
Yeah, I think make things measurable, right? So, I mean, inputs are important, but obviously your core focus should be your output. Process can be overrated at times, in my opinion, and that's not a very popular opinion. But so I think if you're output driven, maybe the 9 to 5 model doesn't work. Maybe you can be flexible. Maybe you can experiment if you have the appropriate data. So long as the output is top notch, top quality.
Definitely the I guess it really the output or the end results is all that really matters when it comes down to it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And that's what.
There's a lot of processes in government that are broken, and a host of legacy industries, right? Just there.
Yes. So any other thoughts when it comes to focusing on the outputs?
Um, no, honestly, I think making it measurable and iterative kind of gets to the crux of my vision, at least in this specific area.
Got it. So I guess before we wrap up here, if anybody wanted to get a hold of you, uh, how would be I guess a good way of doing that? And
Yeah,
what would be?
so drop us a line on our website at Shockworks, no C before the K, just SHOK works.io. Drop us a line there, or just reach out to me on LinkedIn, Alejandro Laplana. And I'm
Got
sure
it.
you'll include links in the bio. So
Yeah. And so who would be uh, an ideal prospect for you guys, or who should do business with you?
honestly, I would say someone who has a team, domain expertise, and clear ideas on what they want moving forward. And really, it's not me building it from scratch, but rather our teams coming in and taking it to the next level.
Got it. Cool. So any last closing remarks here?
No. Thank you again for having me. this was fun, and yeah, just feel free to, if this can help anyone in your audience, feel free to drop me a line. Anyone who's listening.
Well, thank you. Will do. And so they should check out chat. So it's shockworks.com.
.io.
.io. I'm sorry, shockworks.io to learn more.
Thank you.
And until next time on the Profits of IT, I am Jim Punzenberger, your host and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. Check out managedprospectingsystem.com to generate leads through hyper-personalized outreach. And bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Profits of IT. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and share.